Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Cybersecurity Recruiter podcast. Today, I'm joined by Rob McGowan. How you doing, my man?
Good, man. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, good. No, listen, I think we've done pretty well to get here today because we've had to jig this around and move this and move that, but we're here. We got it.
Yeah, it definitely took some logistics to get us here. A couple of reschedules, but here we are. We've touched down the wheels and here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually in Dubai at the minute, Rob, and I do a massive day Monday to Thursday, like 16, 17 hours. And then Friday night, which it is now in Dubai, I'll take it off. But I'm heading to France soon for a holiday. So I'm just like, I'm just going to work all the time till I go and then just stay away from the phone and the laptop for maybe a week or two down in France. Yeah, it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. I've never been to Dubai, but I've heard incredible things about that place, and I would certainly love to hit it. It's definitely on the bucket list.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever you come, let me know because it's quite a small place, and I've been here back and forth a bit, but I've been here for a while this time, so you get to know it. It's pretty good fun.
Love it.
Yeah, looking forward to today, mate. It's going to be good. Yeah, just to do you a bit of an intro, Rob, for the listeners that don't know who you are. So, Rob McGowan started off as far back as I can see as a VP of operations at BD Net Corp. Then you were a field services manager, and then you took the giant leap almost 20 years ago now, and you are the president of R3. So, yeah, welcome to the show,
Yes,
mate.
appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a wild journey for sure.
And I'll start where I always start, which is who are you? What do you get up to? What's a day in the life like? And for everyone listening, go and check out Rob. Rob, I'm not just saying it, but you seem like a guy that's got your stuff together. Like you look sharp, you look on it, you seem like you're cracking on going places. I saw a post that says you're off the booze and you're like really pushing forward. So I'm like, what's a day like in the life of Rob? What's going on?
Yeah, so a day in the life is typically getting up at 5:30 to 6. It's always 30 minutes on the treadmill, so there's always some sort of physical fitness to set the stage for the day. At any given moment through the course of the week, it's meetings, calls the first half of the day, and then we'll have snack, lunch. I made the decision to get really healthy about a year ago. I decided, all right, I'm going to get down to a certain body fat percentage. I'm going to wait. I cut some of the booze. I really wanted to focus on mental health, the business, my kids. All three of my kids are student athletes. They play competitive lacrosse. I'm also getting my youngest into automotive racing. So it's really taxing on me because I not only have to try to keep up with them, I've got R3 and 100 employees that I'm trying to ensure we have a vision, a strategy. So my day could consume of some workout in the morning and typically two workouts a day. And then I've got meetings throughout the day. And if you look at my Wednesdays, I'm in the car with my son, driving him to North Carolina to test his car to get ready for whatever race schedule. So a lot of meetings from the road. We've got multiple offices, one in Boston, one in a newly built office at our headquarters in Frederick. I spend time there quite often. I would say a large portion of my calls are certainly from the road, from Teams or Zoom or something like that.
Cool, yeah. So, Rob, I feel you on the mental health piece, on the drinking side. Like, I've gone through phases where I've just cut it out because when I was younger, I used to drink, get up in the morning, I'd be fine. Now I drink, I get up, I feel so anxious, and I can't do anything properly for like 2 or 3 days. As you get older, it like you almost just want to essentially maximize your time and maximize your life.
Yeah, getting up, I just felt like dragging my heels. I couldn't get going. I'm struggle. I didn't have a problem. I didn't drink every
Mm,
single night. I didn't have an
mm,
addiction issue. It's just I want the clear mind. I want to be able to be steady. I come from a background of some mental struggles, right? I've got ADHD. I've had it all through my childhood as long as I can remember. So I'm trying to identify the things that are distracted me from being at the highest level I can be on a personal level, kids, but also a business level and an entrepreneur level. Not only do I have our other investments and other business opportunities that I'm always involved in, I want to make sure I'm always focused and locked in for whatever it is that I'm working on.
yeah, I love it, mate. I love it. Yeah, just being the best version of yourself. It's just, yeah, it's pretty cool, mate. So the listener base is we have some of my clients which are much like yourself, like successful founders, CEOs, leaders, presidents. Then we've also got like a lot of seniors and head ofs and team leads and people that are probably like wanting to take the leap to start their own business and different people in the security community. But going from field services manager to president of your own firm, what went down? How was it?
Yeah, so I know that story all too well. At the time, I was working at the Department of Transportation. I oversaw everything that was outside of the main headquarters in Washington, D.C. So we would oftentimes have road warriors at different sites around in different cities around the country that were supporting different interagency or modes of transportation, as they called it. So at about 2010, I left BD Net. And when I left there, I had a background of entrepreneurship. My mom was an entrepreneur. My grandparents were entrepreneurs. My dad was an entrepreneur, business owner. I was wired that way. I've always been around it from a young child. I would go dressed as a suit with my mom to work and she'd take me to see clients. So I've always had that wire. And when I left there and went to DOT, the wheel started to turn. And I was like, all right, if I could do this and get a customer, if I could build that customer. So I started building a little bit of customer support, working 2 jobs. I had R3 that was very new in its journey. I had 2 or 3 customers. I had 6 customers while working a job, having 3 kids. I had an employee or 2 working at R3, supporting the customers while doing the day-to-day job, while supporting a new 6-month-old. At that point, April of 2012, I went to a colleague of mine, still a mentor of mine today, and I said, hey, Ray, listen, I've got to make the jump. I've got enough here to support myself, my family, and I want to take this leap. And we had talked about this leading up to it. So he was prepared, but not at that moment. And I basically just said, all right, here, I had enough to cover the employees. I had enough to give me a sliver to cover what my expenses would be. And I just made the leap. And from that point, it was grind. I had a very rigorous schedule on meetings. I cut back my expenses. I drove around a little Scion, little box truck looking thing. I would stuff as many computers in the back of it, right? Do installs. We were a road warrior. It was that grit, that determination, and that willingness to say, no matter what happens, I know I've got a 4-year-old. I know I got a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old. I don't have any options. As they say, burn the boats. There was no getting back. I made the leap of faith. I don't come from a trust fund. I didn't have parents that were independently wealthy that could provide support. I kept my expenses tight. I lived in a townhouse, just enough to get by. I rented it. I didn't own my own house until 2017. That was 5 years after I had been building R3. I'd always rented. My wife drove me crazy while I was, come on, we got to buy something. I said, nah, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. And she stood by me. And that's another key component to being able to do this. You need a partner that truly is vested in what it is you're looking to achieve as a family. We made the decision to have our children young at 26. We made the decision that we wanted to be young parents, and she was going to forego working and taking her career to the next level and be my job was to provide. And making that transition was impactful for me because I knew I didn't have any options. I had to make it work. I had to figure it out. If I missed payroll, I wasn't getting paid that week. I did not get paid because I had to make sure we had reoccurring customers that paid us every month, but we still were like on that fine line that some months were a little tight. And so, oh boy, here we go. It was rough, but we got through it.
Yeah. I just love hearing that. And it's like that payroll story. It's like, much like yourself, some of the like biggest names I've had on the pod, like that story of shit, are we going to make payroll that week? Like I've heard that again and again, and you're saying that with a smile on your face now, and you're laughing. But at the time, it was maybe it's stressful, mate.
Even today is stressful. 100 employees, it's stressful because market conditions change all the time. The market could blip, an administration could change. Anything can happen that could completely change a lot of what's going on. So I've always been high growth mindset. We've grown very aggressive. We've grown very fast. We're known for doing it different in the IT business. Everybody knows 3 for being different and how we are. So to maintain that on the edge, I come from a racing background. So we're always like on the edge of like almost crashing, but people see us because we're hanging it out and we're typically making a pass for the podium at some level, if not first. That's how we approach every prop. That's how we approach every RFP. Like we're not here to take second. We're the first loser. And I kept that mindset all the way through.
Yeah, I love that, man. And I've heard that before. There was a self-help book. It might have been Think and Grow Rich. I can't remember. But it was basically how they're saying, like, you're never standing still. You're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. And it sounds like you've firmly got the mindset of moving forward. Rob, I've got this vision now of you in this little car with like hundreds of laptops. And I bet you look back on those times with fond memories. I bet it was quite fun, wasn't it? Probably stressful at the time, but probably quite fun looking back.
I loved it. Some of the folks I have here were with me when we operated out of my basement. And we talk about it. We share those moments and the experiences and what we did together and being at a job at over the course of throughout the night, getting there at 11 to do a network install and not leaving till 7 in the morning because we had to change all the WAPs, all the switches. And I was hands on. Like I did it with them. And I still to this day get my hands dirty and go out with the team, and we reminisce about all those times, and it really humbles us, and it truly allows us a moment of reflection to appreciate what we've all done to get where we are today. And I say
Mm.
that often, like, without the folks that are here at R3, we go nowhere. It's our people that allow us to be successful, and we've continued that mantra all the way through.
Yeah. Do you know what, though, mate? That's the culture you've created as well. And the thing you said about being hands-on and on the tools with the guys and the girls, like, I think that's mega. Like, I think for anyone listening that's a leader, when you're prepared to get stuck in, and that saying of don't ask anyone to do anything that you wouldn't be prepared to do. I know from, like, when I was younger, I had a job I can't believe I'm about to tell you this, but I'll just tell you anyway. When I was younger, I had this job in this bar, and once a week we had to go down and we had to clean out this sewage thing at the bottom, and it was awful. And I can remember it was my turn to do it. I was doing a ski season in France, and the owner of the bar came down. He went, "Tom, I'm going to do it with you this week." After that, I worked so hard for that guy because of that moment. So when you're hands-on with your team, it has a ripple effect.
Yeah, I was a bar back, so I know the sludge and the crap and the napkins that get squished together, and it's like a claw. Oh, dude, and the beer caps.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, I can go back to those days. But yeah, I mean, it's special when you've gotten to this point. Give you one funny story since you gave me one. There, we do some support for golf courses, right? We've got some golf courses in our portfolio, and there was a clubhouse and a golf shop. They were about 250 feet away from each other. And I think a mower or somebody doing the sprinkler system clipped the wire to the clubhouse, and it was down. So everybody's hemming and hawing. Nobody knows who's at fault. And I just said, guys, time out. I got it. So I threw a roll of cable in the truck. I went there. I walked around. There's the clubhouse, putting green, golf shop, right? So I'm looking at, there's like a little piece of red tape. I can see where the cable is. So I started inspecting around the building, around this building. I'm like, all right, I got this. I started to pull the cable. I could see in the clubhouse where it is. All right, I got this. So I go back to my car. I get the stuff that I need. Man, it looks dark out here. I don't know. I think it may be starting to rain. Within 30 minutes, it's light. It looks like Caddyshack, and the wind's blowing, the rain's coming, and here I am out there just pulling cable, and it's literally monsoon. The whole green is submerged. I got water up to midway up my calves, and I'm just pulling this cable. I ended up getting the cable into the clubhouse, put an end on it on both sides, and got him up through a lightning storm. So people have that story. They go, yo, you better do it, because if not, Rob's going to go do it. I don't care if it's lightning. I don't care if it's a hurricane. That dude's going to go do it.
Yeah, I love that. Do you know what, Rob? There's a pattern emerging there, because it's like when you started out, you had 2-year-old, you had a 4-year-old, you had a 6-month-old. There's a lot of pressure going on. It's easy to look back now and look back at it with fond memories, but at the time it would have been high pressurized. But yeah, there seems to be this attitude of, and people can learn a lot from that. It's just whatever it takes, by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Just whatever it takes.
There's no limit. You got to do whatever the mission calls for. And people in the MSP space, I had a call with another guy just this week, driving back on Wednesday on my long travel to South Carolina. And he built an MSP, sold it. He's like, I don't understand how you've gotten to this size. Most MSPs have a really hard time getting over 5 million. He's like, how did you do it? What did you do to break that traditional mold of where they hit the ceiling? I said, man, been very fortunate. But one thing that is for certain, we do not say no. Like, we will tell you all the risks. We will tell you what challenges we're going to have, but we always get it done. And if you look on my wall, you can see right there.
Get it done.
So the S&A blurred out a little bit, but that's literally in our core values. Like, that's how ingrained it is that we want to get it done. And we just, we leave that out of it. So yeah, that's our mantra.
Yeah, I love that, mate. And I can feel that energy from you straight away when we're chatting now. So I can imagine it ripples down the whole team, and then the compound effect of that across 100 people is probably one of the big reasons you are where you are today, because that's going to be everyone working like that in a cohesive way is going to be like, bam, it's going to be good. Yeah, Rob, do you know what as well? You mentioned market conditions. It's like, this market is like, the whole world's wild now, and it's crazy, mate, isn't it? And it's like, I think you need to have like your foot on the gas, be sharp, alert, and that ties in with everything what you said about training and lifestyle and stuff like that. Because I don't know, mate, like, it's not normal anymore, is it? Nothing's normal.
And even in the cyber and IT land space, the things, 0-day threats happen in like a millisecond. And if you're not ready and engaged and paying attention, you're going to get punched in the face. And for me, where there's fire, there's got to be opportunity, because everybody right now is running like as fast away from the federal government because they're like, oh no, they're cutting, they're doing this and Doge this and what that. I'm over here. Let's go that way. Everybody's like, are you? Nope. Because eventually there's going to be some opportunities that come from those ashes. And why not us stand around going, you know what? We realize you made some decisions that may or be good or may be bad or whatever. Let us push it forward and make it better yesterday. It's always what we try to do here.
Yeah. Now, have you ever heard, there's a saying that called observe the masses and do the opposite. And that's what you just said there. It's so true. It's, yeah. No, cool, Rob. And I see it because I'll talk to a business owner like you that's clearly cracking on and doing things and doing good. And then you can talk to someone in the same space doing the same thing. And it's all doom and gloom. And like, obviously, as a recruiter, I have such visibility on these conversations because you're having them most all day, like most days. And it's that really shows you that it's down to attitude, mindset, get it done. If people are doing the same thing in the same sector, some people are killing it and some people aren't. That's enough proof to me that it's all about attitude, mindset, and just culture and moving forward.
Yeah, you see it on the Beltway every day, or the interstate, or the freeway, or the whatever you call them, right? I don't know what they call them over in London because they're not really interstates, but you got people that go, no, I'm just going to sit here and trudge along in traffic. And you go, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go around. I'm going to get around. It's all perspective, man. If I'm going to get one chance to do this, I'm going to hang it out, have a good time doing it. And it knows who we are while we're doing it. That's it. Cool. Comes down to mindset.
Cool. Rob, you talked about, so you made the leap from VP of Operations, field service manager, you jumped out, set up your own firm. It was kind of conversation with the wife to decide how things are going to be structured and done at home. And we've got the 2-year-old, the 4-year-old, the 6-month-old running around. We've got you in the car, the laptops are everywhere. Anyway, you've got past that bit, you've got going, you've built a team, you're making a bit of headway, making a bit of profit. For people listening, maybe I'm a business owner listening now that's maybe at that point, maybe he or she's at that point and they've just got past that bit and they're at like 6, 7, 8 staff. How do you go from that to 100? Or is there something between that you've done? What goes down there?
So there was some pivotal change in a way business. We've got some great relationships in our home market, and I've always been a big believer in some of those relationships. So it takes time to build where we've come today. And a lot of those people didn't understand why I would do things for free, why I would be out there myself saying, don't worry about it. I'll come out and take care of it. We'll leave my team doing what they're doing. We got it. I got you. Don't worry about it. And it was the commitment to, at some point, you're going to repay the favor because you're going to realize how vested we are into this. And we went from 6 to 15 and we hovered there a little bit. And then the next kind of big surge was our decision to really where we were in the industry of IT, like making cloud first, not having anything in a data center, moving everything that we had in Microsoft. In our business, there's a lot of tools that people use that allow you visibility into everything, right? So if you've got 25 customers, you install the tool set, you can have visibility, remote over, take control, do what you got to do through what's called an RMM. And about 5 years ago, I said, I'm done with that because I see the vulnerabilities. Because if someone penetrates our systems, now they've got all of our clients. That's a major risk for us. And I can't have that. So we started selling and really pushing this management type of methodology where we could contain an outbreak if something went completely awry, a breach, an incident, something, right? So people really adopted to that and they went, I get that. And then you take that, fast forward 3 years from there, or maybe 2 to 3 years from there, maybe 4, COVID came. And we had spent the last 3 years being all cloud, all Intune, all Microsoft. And now everybody's, we can't go to the office. What do we do? Don't worry about it. We have it all built. Come over here. So we experienced like, while there was a chaos, same thing here. I told you government's shutting down or everybody's freaking out. I'm going right into it. We did the exact same thing in COVID. People are like, oh, our MSP won't come on site. Cool. Here's a mask. Here's my goggles. What do we need? Like buildings and infrastructure still have to operate. People still need to go to the hospital. Policemen still need to do their jobs. We just have to wear the proper equipment and make sure we're doing our job. So we went into buildings and facilities and did a ton of work during the very early stages of COVID because I didn't let it distract us. Kept on providing the support that the organization needs. Getting back to the picture I have on my wall, GSD, we get it done. And that's really been the catalyst. And a couple big key moves in decision making for us was going all cloud, adopting a isolated type of management from client to client. I know it gives us a little bit more, potentially some inefficiencies because we have to go into each environment, but think about the protections that we have.
Yeah.
Think about the customers now relying on, okay, R3's got our best interest. And if somebody breaks in their house, they can't get to our house, the customers.
Yeah, cool, Rob. So basically, ultimately, it's a longer term approach. It's the level of service that you're providing. It's not being afraid to do stuff for free because you know it's going to come back around. And then all that combined with the fact that, I'll tell you what, I bet your clients loved you in COVID because you've done all that just before. They were like,
yes, because some of them wouldn't even go to their offices. So we had to go there, pick up all their equipment, bring them back, set them up, and start sending it out to employees because they didn't want to go in. You would do it for us? Yeah. Tell us where to go.
Yeah,
give us keys. We got it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so that, and then combined with the cloud, and then COVID hit, which would have made things way more, from an operational perspective, would have made things way easier for your clients. And then that combined with the fact that, yes, you had some inefficiencies your side, but basically almost created a bit of a USP in the sense that if anything happened to you, they were still cool. And that was then basically explained to all the customers. Yeah.
And early on, we adopted process, procedure, standardization, industry best practice. What we do as an organization from a governance, risk, compliance perspective is a major differentiator for us. So now not only can we build a system, is self-sufficient, is kind of taking everybody else's security into consideration besides just our own, and then you package it a level of compliance and assurances and ISO standards. Now we can get a repetitive process that we can hopefully get the same output every time. It's like when you go, I use this analogy a lot, when you go to Five Guys to get a burger, it comes out the same way. Hopefully the fries are crispy, the burger's done, the ketchup, it's like an assembly line because we've built a system that can be self-sufficient and it's taking metrics, industry best practice. We can rate against other things and it's helping us maintain continuity.
Yeah, but also it's scalable as well. For when you go bigger, you can just go, can't you? Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I'm going to say, what is the plan next? Is that to go again?
Yeah. I mean, our intentions are to probably get close to 400 to 500 employees, 5x where we're at today. I see us certainly being able to get there in the next 5 years. That is absolutely the goal. We have big aspirations. We have a lot of really powerful brands that if we package it, if we show the case studies and we truly show the value to the world, what we're doing for people like the Washington Commanders or Clark Construction or big healthcare systems. When we have brands like that people can actually relate to, and some of them are household names depending on where they are, it gets a lot of credibility. So you take those stories and they're factual stories. Hey, they helped us do this. We improved our service levels by that. We were able to save money over here doing this. And you package that. You have the right marketing around it. You have the right team to implement. You have the right standards, policies, procedures. The rest is history, as they say. Pushing really hard into the government space. And with our GSA schedule, with those type of things, a facilities clearance, and in other areas, we're now going to have the interest of multiple agencies and a lot of them with 3 letters. That's the hope. See what we're doing over here in the commercial space. There is interest.
Yeah, no, cool, mate. No, it's good. I like that. And also that what you said there about retelling factual stories, case studies. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I know from stuff we do ourselves, it's other customers love to hear about the times when you've just literally gone in there and delivered. It just installs so much trust and credibility. I'm sure you do the same. I do it. I'm like really open book with her where I'm like, look, you can ring him, you can ring her. Like, they've agreed to facilitate phone calls. And a lot of customers are like, okay, if you're that open, then it's fine anyway. So they just go for it. But yeah, I find that to be really helpful as well. Cool, mate. You've done a lot of work, but you've got a lot more to do by the sounds of it.
A lot. We are just getting started. Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
You love what you do and you're having fun doing it. Like, it's not work.
It is, mate. It's good. I think I might have said this before on another pod, but I'll say it again. But I hardly ever take time off, and I took some time off at Christmas. And I took 2 weeks off, and I was at the end of the first week, and one of my mates, I've known him for about 20 years, rang me. He went, "What is up with you? I've never heard you down before, ever." And I was like, I don't know. I said, I don't know, Johnny. I'm just really down. I figured it out. I wasn't working. Really down. Like, really genuinely down.
It becomes part of your identity. I mean, it's what you know. It's if you're driven by what you're doing, it's a piece of you is missing when you're not doing it. People ask me, are you going to exit? What's your plan? Are you going to get bought? Are you going to sell? I don't know,
Yeah.
because I couldn't imagine a day in the life without having R3 involved. Because we have fun with the customers, we have fun with the employees, we have fun with the partners, getting to go with different race teams and go watch race cars and go in the hauler and help them improve their technology, go to the race shop. These things are so exciting from my perspective. Like, why would I want to give that up when it's a big part of what we're doing each and every day?
By the way, mate, if you exited, mate, you wouldn't even get through the first cigar. You'd be on the beach, that first cigar would be halfway down, mate, and you'd be back on the plane starting again.
There's that too.
You'd be on the beach, the first cocktail would just be coming over, mate, and you'd be on. I'd look round and you'd be gone.
Totally correct.
Cool. Well, you mentioned mentor about 10 minutes ago. Can you tell us a bit about that? I've heard from other guests like how important mentors are, and I know from my own journey that they are. Is there anything there you can tell us, or any kind of tips, hints, advice on the mentor folks listening?
Yeah, my mental health is pretty important because I've seen a lot of mental health challenges. I come from a father who I was adopted by my stepfather when I was 6, actually 10, but my mom divorced my dad when I was 6. And he had bouts of depression and anxiety and substance abuse and all kinds of things. And I always tried to stand by him and help him, even though I had a different father figure growing up, but I've always been around it to some level. I have friends. I just lost one of my best buddies in October due to substance abuse. So I'm a huge supporter in the organization for mental health, for substance abuse. And my dad was dying. His liver was failing. So I got him another liver, got him a second chance at life. My wife's mom's boyfriend now, he was in the same place. He was ready to wrap it up. I literally grabbed him off the couch. Like,
Wow.
They had hospice there. I grabbed him off the couch and said, no. Threw him in the car, took him to Georgetown. He was the second person I got a liver transplant, and he's never had a drop of alcohol since. So for me, like, it is very important when we talk about mental health, because I've seen depths. I pulled a pistol away from my dad trying to take his own life. Like, I've seen down here, I've seen up here. What I try to do is avoid those pitfalls for everyone else. I have someone who's extremely close to me that has been working for this company for over a decade. His wife was just diagnosed with cancer on Monday. That's 4 days ago. So for me, it's my time to step in and go, all right, I need you to wake up. I need you to go for a walk. I need you to focus. Don't worry about R3, bud. I got this. I need you to be there for your 2 boys and your wife. That's what you got to do. Wherever I can help. I take it to a very different level because I've seen what anxiety there were times when I've been on medication pretty much my whole life, through Ritalin when I was younger, keeping me calm. And then ADHD turned into anxiety when I was older. I'm in a good place. But there were times where, dude, I had times in college when I was afraid to get on the Beltway, like for no reason, just bouts of just pure panic and like panic attacks, like out of nowhere. And I went through that for a couple years. So I've seen so many mental challenges in myself. And I've learned so many ways to cope: breathing, exercise, what I eat, what I drink, the amount of caffeine I can consume, when to pull back, when to push. And I give all those lessons to everybody at R3, my friends, my family, my kids. My kids knew my buddy Brian, who died in October. They've watched him. They've been around him. We've raced motocross for the last 15 years, 20 years together. So they've seen him all the way through. And they're like, how? Why? You'll understand when you understand. Prepare them for that so they don't ever have to worry about that.
Yeah. No, thanks for opening up on that, Robin. I think it's so important to talk about this stuff these days because years no one ever did, and it was like no one knew where to, which made it worse, and people bottle it up and this, that, and the other. I can remember like having a talk with a mental health person, and they were like, if you talk about it, you'll be okay. Like, if we keep talking about it, it's when people bottle stuff up that it develops into a bigger problem.
Yeah. And the problems, not to say this lightly, people go out and they drive through a crowd or they shoot up a school. Like, we have to understand when people are approaching a dangerous level of containment so they don't explode. It's like putting in a unprotected area and just turning up the heat. I don't want to be around that when that goes off.
Yeah. So you mentioned moderating caffeine intake. You mentioned watching what you eat and stuff like that. Have you tried meditation before? Yeah.
Meditation, movement. Yeah.
So good. Like, last 2 mornings, I've just got back on it, and I go through phases. I'm like really good, really consistent, and then probably the time when I need it the most, when I get stressed, then I stop doing it, and then I can just manage to get myself back on it. But it is, I think, especially when you're running a business, it's game changing because you can just almost have a helicopter view on your business at all times. It's hard, consistent.
Absolutely. And I'll say it just as you did. The stress starts to turn up. It's almost like turning the speakers up in a room. You start to lose other senses because you're so focused on the music, right? And when the stress gets high, the same things happen. At least for me, I start to get distracted with what's going on around me and other senses start to fall down. But I have to keep going back to like my checklist, knowing where I'm at, understanding how I'm grounded, understanding what my mental state is. All right, I could tell I'm getting a little bit antsy. I can tell I have a tick because I have a tendency to have some. So I'll start clearing my throat. If people that know me will know, all right, what's going on, bro? You're clearing your throat like every 2 minutes. What's up? What's happening? So it's being aware and self-aware of what's going on in your body. So then you can start to your calmness back to normal levels that you need to operate clearly.
Do you say, Robbie? It's like having all this pent up energy and stuff like that. And it's like a gift because if it's pointed in the right direction, the results are like staggering in a really good way. You just got to make sure, you just got to do all those things. Like you said, your checklist, your breathing, your diet, you've got to do all those things. Like some people just haven't got that level of energy and it means they probably haven't got that level of drive, but you've got all that there. So it's a gift to have that as long as it's looked after. And it's like you're a rocket launcher. You just got to make sure it's like pointing in the right direction.
That's all it comes down to. And it takes failure to learn what works and what doesn't. I've made so many mistakes, and I'll put it in a term of racing. I've hit the wall so many times. Now I know what I have to do. And it's just trying to teach my son now with a race car. You got to lift off the gas a little bit. If you just hold it to the floor, you're not going to make the turn. You're going to go smack into the wall in turn one. You're not going to get there. So you have to understand it's a push-pull. Right? You got to lift off the gas just to get the car set in the corner, and you can get back on it again and come out of the corner. But you have to, at some point, lift. No different than us, like running around and going crazy, working. If you have an RFP or a proposal due, right? You're working 10, 12, 15, 18-hour days for 2-3 weeks. And then all of a sudden you snap. You're like, oh my God, I can't get up. I feel bad. That's because you've just hammered the gas too hard.
Yeah, it's so true, mate. Or you have it where you're working like that and then you go on holiday and because you've relaxed, you end up getting ill the minute you're on holiday. It's a nightmare. But you're true. It's like you say, you can pick so many analogies. You pick some great analogies there on racing and stuff like that. But it's like the gym. If you go and train and rip your muscles to pieces every single hour of every day, they're never going to grow and they're never going to develop. And it's the same with business, same with your mind, same with everything. But you know what, Rob? I'm great at giving all this advice, but you watch, I'll be there in 2 or 3 weeks' time doing everything that I shouldn't be. And I have to pull myself back in, but maybe that's okay as well. Like we all get off track as long as you keep, like you say, go back to your checklist, keep checking yourself and just bring it back.
Yeah. And you have to have a mental checklist, and you've got to know your triggers. You've got to know where you are. You've got to, I tell it to everybody who is recently new to anxiety and pressure and stress and whatever it may be. You've got to understand what sets you off. Then you could start to prevent it before you get gone. If the top's blown off, it's harder to put it back on. So try and catch it, know your triggers, have your checklist, and run through it. And I do it now routinely so much. I do breathing and meditation every single day. So I'm already keeping it contained so it doesn't get to the top.
It's good, mate. When we finish recording this, I'm going to ping you a couple of different podcasts on LinkedIn that I think you'll really like. Yeah, some stuff on the mind and stuff like that. Yeah, you'll really like it, mate. Going off on tangent here a bit, but I'll do it anyway. The caffeine thing's a massive thing. I'm switching out coffee for green tea, and that's making it. I still have my coffees in the morning and stuff, but having more green tea and less coffee, that's been a game changer for me because coffee, you just start feeling anxious for no reason whatsoever. It's horrible.
You've got dark roast and you got light roast, and the caffeine contents are different in each. For me, I drink a lot of coffee, like a lot, but I always make sure to drink dark roast. That way I try and keep it so I don't have these ups and downs. Fortunately, I don't put sugar in it. I don't put any additives. I just drink black coffee. But I love coffee. Like as soon as we get off, I'll make a coffee. It'll be my 4th cup today.
Mate, honestly, you probably think I'm quite a nice, happy-go-lucky guy, right? If you meet me without a coffee, I'm not a nice guy to be around.
I'm the same way. When I get up in the morning, I'm going to need a few minutes.
Honestly, if it wasn't for coffee, mate, I'd have no drive, no money, no business.
Yep. Dude, you're preaching to the choir. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, cool. So, Rob, you need to go from 100 to, so you go to 400 to 500. It got a mentor that's going to guide you to that? Because that's like probably uncharted territory for most people. Have you got someone guiding you there, or have you mapped it out in your head? Yeah, what's the plan?
Yeah, I've got a number of mentors, successful folks in my circle. And fortunately for the portfolio, we have a couple of our family office folks who have ultra high wealth families. So We've got great advisors around this organization, and we're putting together a board of advisors, if you will, to really ensure as we start to get into unfamiliar territory. Right now, I'd say we're putting our nose of the bow. We're out into some open seas, right? We're offshore. We've got fishing rods, and we're still trying to get to our destination. We haven't put the lines in the water. It is now far gone. We can't see. We're just out in the open ocean. We're just hoping to catch that big blue marlin, right? So we've got surveillance, we've got communications, we're always plugged in. And yes, I've got some pretty successful gentlemen who've done very well in the IT space, kind of helping me orchestrate my next move.
Yeah, I think that's so important, mate. Because and it's whatever level you're at. If you're at your all level, going from 100 to 400 or 500, you want to be. If you're going from a mid to a senior, if you're starting your own business, if you're going from 10 staff to 20 staff, if you've got someone by your side that's done it before, it's going to save you a lot of time.
Absolutely. And look out for this. You may want to have somebody that, whatever industry we're in, right? You want somebody that maintains contracts, or you want somebody that does mergers and acquisitions if you're going to do a lot of roll-ups. And whatever your approach is, for us, we made one acquisition. We'll probably make more. We did ours in, I think it was 2022 or 2021, something like that. I did it to check a box to say we did it. I did it to understand what the transition and getting it in, how it would look and how it would feel. I don't think we gave it enough planning to say, how are we going to roll it in, but also expand from there. We took it, we supported, we took the customers, and that was it. We're in DC, that was in Boston. It was like, cool, we did it. Yeah, they're here. They love us. Now what? But we haven't added any logos up there. We haven't had any brands up there. It's like, cool, we added 10 customers. Great, awesome. We could have just gone and sold 10 customers and not paid this guy $1.3 million for his business. Like, what are we doing? So you live and you learn, right? I wanted to check the box.
Yeah. Okay. So it was just you acquired the customer. You didn't acquire the team. It was just the customers.
I took the team, the customer, I took everything. I took an office. I took it all. But
okay, cool.
The owner was looking to be done. He was done in 60 days. And then here we are. Great people, a couple of great clients, still have them today. But we didn't put a sales team. We didn't want to grow the market. We just said, yeah, let's do it. Boston's great. There's so many customers. We're going to be great. It's going to be awesome. We didn't put a sales plan in place. We just said, yeah, we'll go up there. We'll have a bunch of meetings. We'll get it done. Yeah. And we didn't, because we're so immersed in this market. We don't know anybody up there. We know everybody here. So, and now 2 years later, we're like, you know what? Probably have to hire somebody up there because they know the people up there. They don't want us up there. What meeting we go to? You're in DC. You're not from Boston. What are you doing here? Sounds like a cool place. Want to do business? Here I am. That didn't happen.
No, do you know what though? I just think if you've never done something before, I don't know. I always think the first time you do something, it's always going to be pretty tricky, and you don't know what you don't know. Like I was talking to one of my friends recently, Rob, about like raising capital and stuff like that, and I was like amazed. Like obviously, like some people go to like private equity and stuff like that, but he was talking about you can like strip out the brand from the business, where you can leverage up against your brand, you can leverage up against recurring revenue, you can do this, and it's wow, there's so many different ways to do these different things, and that's why I just think the mentoring piece is just so important, because there's so much out there and we just don't know what we don't know, and it's just there is a lot to learn, I think.
Endless. And what not to do, what mistakes to avoid. What consultants that tell you, oh, yeah, can I help you do it? And you go, no, don't do that, Rob. I heard every story under the sun. Just do this and do it. Many of them told me, don't go into the federal space. And now they're like, you didn't listen, but I think it's going to work out for you. You got to take the information, and sometimes you just have to have a gut. Sometimes, a lot of what's gotten us here is my gut instinct says, nah, everybody's going that way. I'm going to go that way.
Yeah, you do, mate. No, it's right, mate. And I think as well, the internet, living in the age of the internet is a beautiful thing because all the information's there. But you're right, you've got to be so careful about taking the right advice, because there is a lot of bad advice on the internet. There's some great advice, but I see some stuff, recruiting stuff, and you think, God, that is terrible advice. You've got to be sharp and away.
Yeah, you got to challenge. It's the tough questions. And that's what we say at R3. Like conflict, as challenging as it may be, it does a lot. Strong, constructive conflict can do incredible things to an organization.
Yeah, I think it can strengthen a relationship after. I know over the years when we've had tensions, you look back on it, or sometimes you'll get like a message from someone after and go, do you know what? Thanks for staying professional then. That was spot on. I've had that from customers and stuff before, where we've had tensions over different things, and I've got an email like 6 months later, like saying thanks. And I'm like, oh, okay, sweet. And it's actually strengthened the relationship. It's pretty good. Cool, mate. I'm going to ask you one question on your own hiring and what you look for people listening that are out there looking for new jobs and stuff like that. And then I'm also going to ask you one more on content you consume. Could be book, could be podcast, could be anything that's making you and keeping you the best version of yourself. But I'll start with the hiring one first. If I'm a security engineer applying for a job for you now, what do I do? What don't I do? What are you looking for? What's good? What's bad? What kind of gets you excited?
So, in my course of trying to find the right people here, there's obviously a level of skills that we're looking for, right? And different roles. There's entry level IT all the way up to senior level strategy. The biggest thing that gets me going is the fire and the drive in somebody that's willing, as we just said a few minutes ago, respectfully challenge the way it's always been done. So I'll give an example. I have a guy who we're going through the recruitment process now to come and help us with one of our pretty large, significant units of the business. And the way he's approaching the industry, the way it's done, the plan he's putting together in front of us is getting us so excited about the opportunity. As a CEO, strategy, sales guy, I'm sales at the core. I'm a visionary. So a lot of time I avoid the risk conversation. A lot of times I deflect from, have you considered this? And have we evaluated that? I'm like, dude, just enough with all the, we're trying to get there. We want to go here. We got to go faster and we got to lift off the brake and go, right? Thankfully, I have other pieces around us that help keep the bull a little bit tame. And we say that a lot. Like I'm the bull that's running around and people are just sitting on me going, woo! So I like that like fire. I like that people want to go, let's do this. Let's show them. Let's go out to the industry. Let's prove to them why R3 is different. People may not like the way we do it, but if we educate them on why, then we use the table and flip the chessboard around and move the pieces so they clearly understand what we're doing. So I look for heart. I look for commitment. I look for, here's where I want to be, but I want to come in a little less because I want to prove myself. I want to show you that I can do it. A lot of those people come here throughout their journey and they've stayed for a long time because they understand what it is we're trying to do. And they aren't just coming to, not to say collect a paycheck, because I know everybody at some point or another truly wants to be successful and do things that interest them. And maybe because of a brand or customers we support or an industry we serve, I don't know, it could be a plethora of reasons. But I'm just looking for those folks that really have ambition, have fire, that have had adversity, that have had challenge in their life, that have forced them to actually get outside of their comfort zone and continue to push. No different than me. I didn't want to come home last night and work out at 8:30, but I did. I knew it was part of my list yesterday, and I did it. So that's the recruitment thing.
Yeah, no, cool. Thanks, Robert. Do you know what? For people listening, I think, and this isn't the first time, like even like really technical founders I've had on, people don't jump to the technical stuff's just a given if you're like a security analyst or whatever. But so many business owners, founders I've had on are talking about all the things you've just mentioned, all the kind of things that perhaps not even teachable in some respects. Like I think sometimes people can focus so much on a certification or a technical aspect of the role, but there's so much more to it. You've not mentioned any of that. All that other stuff is so important to you because some of that stuff, I think to a certain extent, you've either got it or you haven't, and it's hard to get that out of someone. But it doesn't surprise me to hear you say that because I can imagine if I'm working with you, I need to have a burning desire. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
I can see it, mate. I can see it.
I need somebody who's ready to, hey, look, we got to go to California tomorrow because we got a great opportunity. I get to, okay, cool. Thanks. See you next. Yeah. Because opportunity isn't waiting. It's just, they're not sitting there. So when opportunities shine or present themselves, we got to go get it. And we're going to get punched in the face. Yes.
Yeah, make hay. All right, buddy. Last question, mate. I know I promised you I'd keep you about an hour, so we're about on time. And I know you're busy, so I won't keep you much over. But I used to say what book has had the best impact on your career, but it can be book, it can be pod, it doesn't have to be anything to do with security, it could be anything. But what's had the most positive effect on your career growth, progression, self-development, book or podcast or anything content-wise?
I read a fair share of books. A recent one that I've read, so I do a lot of different podcasts. A lot of them I listen to a lot of quick 10-minute Ben Lionels. I don't know if you know what those are.
Okay.
They're just, yeah, acquired. I listen to that a lot. They go through like businesses and how numbers and how they're acquired, how they roll up, things like that. It's an acquisition type of deal. Ben
Okay.
Lionel does like a 10-minute like snippet. It's like extremely motivational. You'll hear like Tony Robbins, you'll hear ET. It'll have like sound clips. It'll have, do you know you need to get up today? And it'll have Jocko talk about this, and then somebody else will come in, and it's by the time that 9 minutes is over, you're like, yeah, let's go. So like I listen to that a lot, like almost every morning when I get out of the car. People are like, Rob's ready to go. I can't recommend it enough. It's done wonders for me, especially going into big meetings and stuff. A recent book that I've actually enjoyed is The Innovative Seller. It's right here. I enjoyed that a lot. Jake Dunlop. Yeah, it's cool because I like selling and AI, and we're introducing a lot of that. That's another one. What got you here won't get you there. You get to certain points in your maturity and growth, and then you stall out. What's going to allow you to get to the next level? Most of my reads are going to be nonfiction, self-help, development, business, sales, growth, those type of things. Good to Great was always a good one for me.
Yeah.
There's another one that I read, The E-Myth, how to basically scale, and you probably heard of that one. That was a good one.
Yeah,
I read
cool,
a bunch. Lionel.
I was just about to say, so if I ever ring you and like you scream down the phone at me, you're not annoyed with me. You've just had a Ben Lionel pod on you.
Yeah. And it's, I don't even know, they're not even podcasts. They're like just minute, like, all right, let's get going. Time to wake up.
You know, they sound wicked. They sound, in the morning, I'm getting up early tomorrow morning, bang, go straight downstairs to the gym, and I'm going to put one on when I'm having my coffee when I get up.
You're going to email me. Yeah. Whenever my sales guys are feeling down, I go, never quit, send. And they go, all right, I'm good. I'm back.
No, I'm going to listen to Ben Lionel. I'm going to send you a voice note on LinkedIn, and it's going to be early in the morning in Dubai, so you'll get it in the middle of the night, and I'll wake you up.
Love it.
Cool. Rob, this has been good, man. It's been a really nice episode, man. I like what we've touched upon, and like you've been really open and stuff like that, and it's just wicked, because one of the reasons I wanted to start this pod, because a lot of us are working remotely, and like, we need this. We need these good chats. Like, they're good for mine and your mental health, and good for the listeners' mental health. So it's good. Do you think we've done all right? Do you think we've about smashed it?
Absolutely. Hit a home run for sure.
Did,
anytime
mate.
You want me to join, I'd love it.
Yeah, definitely. Rob, mate, thanks again. It's been good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, you too. I really appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.